This is my educational video by Kyle Pavic. The muscle belly is the area where the muscle fibers live. Muscle belly is the red part of the muscle. There are two kinds, long and short. So the muscle belly is this thing right here as a whole. Tendon. The tendon is the area where the muscle fibers end and the CT continues. Cord-like extensions from the muscle belly. Connects the muscle belly and the bone. The orange part is the bone, the blue part is the tendon, the red part's going to be the whole muscle belly. The epimysium. The epimysium surrounds several fascicles, which are known as a team of muscle fibers, consists of dense connective tissue, fibrous elastic tissue that surrounds each muscle. There are usually many. The mysium is the thin layer surrounding that part right there. Perimysium. The perimysium is the name given to fibrous sheath that surrounds each bundle of single muscle fibers. The bundle, being known as a fascicle, contains many collagen. Perimysium is the thin layer that surrounds that little piece right there that's sticking out. The endomysium is the word used to refer to the fine sheath of connective tissue layer, particular fibers that surrounds each single muscle fiber. So the endomysium is that honeycomb thing around each muscle fiber. The fascicle is the many bundles of fibers that make up the muscle belly. The fascicles are going to be all these little parts inside of the muscle belly. So one single fascicle is the part that's sticking out, but not the little one, the little circles, not the furthest one. Muscle fibers. Muscle fiber is composed of many fibrils, which give the cell its striated appearance. So here is a chunk of a muscle fiber, and the fibrils are going to be those little noodle-like things in the inside. Sarcomere. Sarcomere is the basic unit of striated muscle tissue. Any of the segments of myofibril in striated muscle fibers. This is a picture of a sarcomere right here. A-bands. The darker of the two alternating stripes seen along muscle fibers. The A-bands are regions in which the thin actin filaments overlap the thick myosin filaments. The A-bands are going to be these two things that are kind of in the middle, but they're darker. As you can see, it says A-bands, and there's two lines pointing to it. I-bands. I-bands band within a striated myofibril, seen as the light region. So I-bands are going to be on both ends. They're the lighter region with the blue stripe in the middle. Z-lines. Border of the sarcomere. Actin molecules are bound to the Z-lines, given anchorage to titin. So the Z-line is going to be this blue jagged line in between each thing. The H-zone, area of only thick filaments, area in the center of the bonds, and is the area within a sarcomere. So the H-zone is part directly in the middle there. Calcium ion. There are electrolytes that is stored in the sarcomeroma, a membrane that surrounds the muscle cell, and it is released to trigger muscle contractions. Here's a picture of ions being released by a calcium release channel. Troponin acts like a padlock to actin, prevents myosin from attaching to actin. So troponin is the blue portions in these pictures here. Tropomyosin acts like a chain and holds troponin in place. Relaxed muscles, tropomyosin blocks the attachment sites from the myosin cross bridge, preventing contraction. So tropomyosin is the blue part in this thing. Actin is a protein with active bonding sites that allow myosin to attach and pull together when a muscle cell contracts. They are essential for cellular functions as the mobility and contraction of cells during cell division. So actins are those little white bits inside this picture here. Myosin, they're responsible for each based mobility. They're responsible for each actin-based mobility. A protein that swings to grab each actin binds site power stroke once calcium unlocks troponin to create a shortened sarcomere. Only ATP can release myosin from actin to release the muscle cell. So the myosin is that little thing on the top that's red. It's going to connect to the myosin binding site, which connects those myosin with the actin. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is energy needed to release myosin, then converts to adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate, ADP plus P. ATP binds with myosin and moving myosin to high energy state, releasing the myosin head from the actin active site. ADP can attach to myosin, which allows the cross bridge cycle to start again. Further muscle contraction can occur. So here's a math kind of equation, how ADP works. That adenosine converts energy plus P plus energy plus P plus energy plus P. Adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate, ADP plus PI. ATP is split into ADP and phosphate to supply the energy needed for muscle contraction. So here is a picture of ATP being hydrolysed to ADP plus P, and it goes from that with phosphorylation to ATP. And that is the end of my presentation.